Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. My name's Bucci. I'm the owner of Show Me Hair, and today I'm making a video on how to take the proper measurements in order for you to be able to make a custom wig. Some of the things that you'll need in order to follow along with this tutorial are going to be your measuring tape, mannequin head. Today I'm going to be using a 22-inch because, just to make it simple, this is my head size, so I'll just use my measurements for today's example, as well as your dome cap, and that is it. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so today we're using the 22-inch mannequin head, and the first measurement that you always want to do is going to be the circumference of your client or yourself. Okay, so you're going to take your measuring tape. Make sure to always start at 1. Okay, so you're going to put that measuring tape. So this is the front of my mannequin head. Hopefully you guys can see, and then the back is facing towards me. You're going to wrap that measuring tape around your client or yourself's head and mark it exactly where you see that number stop. So in this case, this is a 22 mannequin head, and as you can see, it's stopping at measurement 22. So the second measurement that we're going to take is going to be from the front of hairline to the nape of neck. So you're going to grab that same measuring tape. Make sure to always start at 1. Start it exactly where your hairline or your client's hairline starts. Drag it all the way down till you get to the nape or their neck where their hair stops. Okay, when you get that measurement, you mark it and then write that down. This third measurement is going to actually tell you how much frontal that your client is going to need. So it's going to say this third diagram is showing the forehead space. Forehead space is how far your hairline goes from ear to ear. So just for visualization purposes, on your client, they would take it like this, or on yourself, and you would measure how far along your hairline is. Usually people's hairlines stop anywhere from 13, 12, 11, just depends on their head size. So the next measurement is ear to ear over top, like headphones. So this is the front of the mannequin head, and here's the back. What you're gonna do is just take it right above their ear, drag it across like such, and where it stops on the other side, and then you take your mark. The fifth measurement is temple to temple. So if you know, your temples are right here. So you're gonna take that same measuring tape, start on one side, drag it all the way around back behind their head, and mark it where you get that measurement right there. And the sixth and final measurement is going to be nape of neck. So you want to know how wide the nape is, the nape area. So you're going to take this same measuring tape and put it on one side and measure to where their hair stops and mark it right there, and then that's your measurement. So the second part of this tutorial is going to be how to transfer. Now you have all your measurements, you have all 6 measurements. How do you take those measurements and transfer it over to your mannequin head so you can start sewing? So what you're gonna wanna do is get your mannequin head. So say if your client was a 21, you're gonna wanna grab your mannequin head that's a 21, or if they're a 22, grab the 22, 23, 23, so on and so forth. So in this case, I'm going to use my own measurements. So 22, and today I'm using a dome cap. There's all different kinds of wig caps that you can use. There's ventilated caps. I'm just using a dome cap today. A lot of my clients prefer these, so just to make things simpler, I'm using a dome cap. The back of the dome cap has a V, and this is just how I like to do it. You guys, whatever you're comfortable with doing, then go ahead and do it your way, but this is just a suggestion. There's a V, and then in the front, there's a space. If you notice in this mannequin head, they have 3 different guidelines. There's one to the left, one in the center, and one to the right, okay? So I always take my V and I measure it up right with the center of that line. I'm gonna turn it towards me so I can see. So I'm gonna center it and make sure everything is equal on both sides. Let me turn it around. And then these 2 lines right here, I make sure that they're right in between the center line and the outside lines. Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure. Okay, perfect. So now everything's aligned up. I'm gonna start measuring out and adjusting my cap, meaning either pushing it up or down or back or to the side, whatever, just to make sure I'm matching up those same measurements that we just took. Okay, so I lied. I'm not going to use my measurements. I'm actually going to use one of my clients' measurements because I forgot to grab my measurements. All right, so thank goodness my client's head is actually a 22, just like mine. So since I'm already using the 22 mannequin head, I'm good to go with that. Next, we're gonna check from front to nape, okay? So the front to nape on my client's head is 14.5. So what I'm trying to do is make sure that from here to here measures exactly 14.5 inches. So I grab my tape, starting from 1, and I drag it all the way to the back, and I see what it says. It's not quite to 14.1. So what I'm going to do is simply pull this cap down slightly. Just pull it down slightly, take my T-pin and pin it down so it will stay in place, okay? So when I measure again, it should be at 14.5 this time. So from the front to the back, perfect. Okay, so that one's good. Now we're 2 measurements down, we have 4 more to go. Okay, so the next one is gonna be ear to ear that I'm going to do, which is going to be like the headphones. And in this case, her ear to ear is, okay, so in this case, her ear to ear is 12.5. So from here to where the ear would start, over to this other side, I needed to measure 12.5, okay? So right now it's about 13.5, so I'm an inch off. So what I'm going to do is, let me make it straight so you guys can see. I don't want to just take 1 inch over here because then it's gonna be uneven. So I'm gonna slightly slide up on both sides, okay, to get it where it needs to be. So I'm gonna take my tape, perfect. So now we're at 12.5. Okay, so the next measurement is gonna be temple to temple. So in this case, my client's measurement for temple to temple is 15. So I'm gonna place the measuring tape here and bring it all the way back behind the head and get my measurement there. Okay, it's a little bit off, so I'm gonna pull it down some, but making sure that I don't mess up this part here. And then I'll measure it again. Oops. Come on. Okay. There we go. So we're at 15, so we're good to go. Okay, so I know I said that the frontal, which is this area, you don't necessarily need that measurement in order to sew the wig. What that helps you know is, because if you notice that frontals come in 13/4 or 13/6, that will let you know where you can cut the ends. So say if you measured your client and their hairline is 12 across, you can actually take that frontal and cut it down to about a 12.5 just to give you a little bit of room for error, but it's not necessarily a measurement that you need to transfer over to your mannequin head to sew it. So the last and final measurement that we're gonna take in order to make sure that we have the correct head size is the nape of neck. So my client's nape of neck is 2.5, I mean not 2.5, is 5 inches. So since what you have to do to one side, you have to do it to the other, if you take that 5, you have to divide it by 2. Please, I hope I didn't lose anybody by saying all that, okay? So all you have to do is put it in the center of 5, which will give you 2.5. So I set it right here at 2.5. Hold on, let me tighten her. It's kind of hard. I'm trying to do it and let you guys be able to see at the same time. It's fine. Okay, so it's here, 2.5. So 5 is right here. So 5 is right there. I'm going to take my T-pins and bring it down to this 5, mark it. And then on this other side, I'm gonna take my T-pin here, grab my cap, bring it down, and mark it. And when I look at the nape, I kind of like for it to be straight across or in a V, just make it kind of resemble what their hairline in the back looks like. But I've noticed that whenever I do it straight across, it kind of helps it fit the client a little bit better. Okay, so it's not perfect, but you guys kind of got the idea. So the nape of neck now is 5 inches across and everything else is set. Now, when you're done with doing this, what you're going to do is place your frontal or closure piece, mark it off, and then now you can draw your guidelines so you can proceed to either sewing the wig or hand sewing the wig. That didn't even make sense. So you can proceed to sew the wig by sewing machine or hand sew it by hand. That still didn't make sense. So you can proceed to sew the wig on the sewing machine or sew the wig by hand. There you go. Okay, so this is what she looks like. She's all marked off and you're good to go. So hopefully that helped you guys understand not only how to take your measurements, but also how to transfer those measurements onto your mannequin head so you can start making those custom wigs, whether it be for clients or for yourself. I'm really looking forward to posting more videos, sharing some fun things, showing you guys some of my custom units that I like to make, some coloring, things like that. So if you guys found value in this, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to find me on my other platforms. I love to post a lot on Instagram as well as TikTok. Thanks, guys.